Good morning, ladies. Welcome to Women Revealed.
This is about infidelity. So what do we do when there's infidelity? For the most part, and I know it happens both ways, but for the most part, the men do step outside of the marriages, the relationships quite a lot. And how can you heal from that? Especially if the man was the right person, you did it the right way, he is the one who's supposed to be your husband, you are married to the right man. What happens when cheating happens? Because it can happen. We're all human beings. How do we come back from that?
Happen. I want to say something and back up a minute there. I don't think that our mindset should be to expect infidelity. And I think that that's a very common train of thought here. Well, men cheat. They don't all cheat. They really don't. There are two types of men. There is one who has a faithful spirit, and there's one that has an unfaithful spirit. You should be able to recognize the unfaithful spirit before you go into covenant with that person and know what's going to happen and not enter. Okay? Then there's a man who has a faithful spirit. We see in the Bible, there were times when wives gave their husbands away.
Yeah.
So a full examination has to take place of why it happened. And that is not a situation where you make that man defensive. You need to ask, what went wrong between us? What was I not fulfilling? He might say it wasn't you, it was me. He might have feelings of inadequacy based on his own fears and things that are going on with him that lead him outside. Or there might be a frustration of something you're not doing. So you need to find out if you were doing your job or not. And if it's not about you and it's about him, how can I help you? If he wants to be helped. Maybe he doesn't, depending on if he's got an unfaithful spirit. If it's an unfaithful spirit, he might want you to just accept it and say, oh, it doesn't mean anything. I love you. I'm here with you, aren't I? I haven't left. Well, you need to leave because you're bringing germs home. Hello.
Hi.
There's a reality that he's now endangering you if he's a serial infidelity person.
Yes.
So if he's a serial cheater, he's putting your body at risk, especially now, not just venereal diseases. Now we got COVID to deal with too. You don't
Can you
know
imagine?
There's so many things. And the record that it's also setting in front of your children, because your children know. The neighbors know. People know. So it's not a healthy situation. Now, the other one who is broken, confesses that it's a mistake, is repentant, then you have to rebuild trust. And he's got to understand that that's a process for you. So now he's got to be accountable. And you need to seek counseling together and rebuild trust. It can be rebuilt. It can make your marriage stronger than it was before. So the possibilities for rebuilding are there, but the work must be done.
Yeah, and it's not just a one-sided thing.
Right.
Both people. So, this is the difference between weakness and wickedness.
Yes.
Right? Anybody can make a mistake because we're all human beings.
Yes.
And if it's a mistake and I see it as a mistake, I'll be really scared about how my wife would react. I'll be remorseful. But wickedness is where I go and have a whole family over there, and children and other things, and I keep having.
And I'm running with friends that think it's all right.
Exactly.
The peer group also affects that, and validates that type of behavior.
Exactly.
And that person needs to experience loss. I'm just going to tell you that sometimes people don't appreciate what they have until they've lost it. Now that can be set up as a separation. I am not an advocate of divorce as a first option. But the Bible does give you a clause as an out if this person is unfaithful. God does not accept unfaithfulness. He divorced Israel because of it. He will not hold a human being to a higher standard than himself. But it should not be the first option. If that person is willing to work to rebuild a relationship, you do not have the excuse of leaving. But if he just wants to justify his behavior and be unapologetic, you have another issue and a decision to make, because that is not covenant. That person has broken covenant.
Exactly. Thank you, Michelle.